A dishwasher finishes its cycle and there's still an inch of cloudy water sitting at the bottom of the tub. A technician gets booked, runs a diagnostic cycle, and quotes $350 to replace a drain pump that, more often than not, was never actually broken. The water wasn't backing up because a part failed. It was backing up because the path it needed to travel through had slowly narrowed to almost nothing, and the $1 fix for that never made it past the appliance's own support page. Before this video is over, the actual reason a dishwasher stops draining will be explained, along with the cheap fix that clears most cases in one cycle, and the honest answer about the smaller number of cases where a powder alone won't be enough. Appliance forums are full of the exact same post, a photo of standing, greasy water at the bottom of an otherwise clean dishwasher, followed by dozens of replies, all circling the same handful of causes. It's rarely a mystery to the people who've dealt with it before. It's just rarely explained to the person dealing with it for the first time, right up until a technician shows up and explains it for $350. The replies also tend to follow a pattern of their own. Someone posts the same complaint every few weeks, a handful of people walk through the same short list of checks, and someone eventually confirms that clearing the filter or running a cleaning cycle solved it, all without a single mention of calling a technician until someone new to the thread suggests it as a last resort. For more on the appliance repairs that turn out to be maintenance in disguise, subscribing keeps this channel showing up for the next one. Standing water at the bottom of the tub isn't the only complaint that gets lumped into my dishwasher is broken, and separating them out matters before assuming a drain clog is the cause. A dishwasher that runs its full cycle normally, but leaves dishes cloudy or spotted without any standing water, usually points to hard water or detergent issues rather than drainage at all. One that stops mid-cycle with an error code is almost always an electronic fault, not a mechanical blockage, and needs a different kind of troubleshooting entirely. A dishwasher that hums or runs during the drain portion of the cycle, but leaves water behind, with no error code and no obvious mid-cycle stop, is the specific pattern this video addresses, and it's also, by a wide margin, the most commonly reported version of the complaint. Every dishwasher drains through the same basic path. Water gets pumped out through a filter at the bottom of the tub, into a hose, and out through either a garbage disposal connection or a sink drain. That filter exists specifically to catch food particles before they reach the pump, and over months of normal use, grease, soap scum, and mineral deposits from hard water build up around it and inside the hose alongside the debris it's supposed to catch. None of that happens overnight. It happens gradually enough that the dishwasher seems to be working fine for a long stretch, then appears to fail all at once, when in reality, the drain path has just been narrowing for months until it finally can't keep up with a full cycle's worth of water. Dishwashers have also gotten considerably more water efficient over the past couple of decades, which is good for utility bills, but also means less water flushing through that same path with every cycle, giving buildup more opportunity to accumulate between cleanings than it had in older, higher water machines. Detergent choice plays a bigger role in this than most people expect. Older-style dishwasher detergents, especially powders and gel formulas, tend to leave more residue behind than modern pod-based detergents built for high-efficiency machines, since a lot of the older formulas relied on phosphates that were phased out of household dishwasher detergent in the United States over the past 15 years for environmental reasons. The replacement formulas clean effectively, but don't break down grease quite as aggressively on their own, which shifts more of that job onto hot water and rinse volume, both of which are exactly what a modern, water-efficient cycle has less of. None of that makes the newer detergents worse. It just means the drain path accumulates residue a little faster than it did with the formulas dishwashers were originally designed around decades ago. This information isn't hidden particularly well, it's just filed somewhere nobody looks until after they've already paid someone else to look there for them. Appliance manufacturers' own support pages walk through this exact troubleshooting sequence: clogged filter, blocked hose, disposal connection. Before ever mentioning a technician, an independent repair guides describe the filter specifically as the single most common cause of a dishwasher that won't drain. None of that changes the fact that most people never open that page until water is already sitting in the bottom of the tub, and a service call already feels like the only option left. The $1 fix is food-grade citric acid powder, sold cheaply at grocery stores, home improvement stores, or in bulk online, and it's the same active ingredient in most commercial dishwasher cleaning products sold at a much higher price. Run through an empty cycle on the hottest setting available, dissolved citric acid breaks down the mineral deposits and soap scum, narrowing the drain path, restoring flow through the filter, hose, and pump without anything needing to be physically removed or taken apart. For buildup that's heavier on grease specifically, rather than mineral scale, pairing citric acid with a small amount of baking soda handles both at once, since citric acid is considerably better at dissolving mineral deposits than oily residue on its own. Here's the honest part, since a powder poured into an empty cycle isn't going to fix every single cause of a dishwasher that won't drain, no matter how the title of this video reads. Citric acid clears buildup. It doesn't remove a piece of glass or a broken utensil physically lodged in the filter. It doesn't fix a disposal that was never properly connected when it was installed. And it doesn't repair a drain pump motor that's actually failed rather than just restricted. Those three causes account for a real minority of cases, and they're worth ruling out specifically because they're each still relatively simple to check without a technician. A filter that lifts out reveals visible debris immediately if that's the problem. A garbage disposal that hasn't been run in a few minutes often clears itself once it has. And a pump that's completely silent during the drain portion of the cycle, rather than humming without moving water, points toward an actual failure rather than a clog. There's also a specific case worth flagging separately. A dishwasher installed alongside a brand new garbage disposal that's never drained properly from day one, rather than one that used to work fine and gradually stopped. Often points to a plastic knockout plug inside the disposal that's supposed to be removed during installation and sometimes gets missed. That's a 5-minute fix on its own, and citric acid won't touch it either, since the blockage isn't buildup at all. For the substantial majority of standing water complaints that don't involve any of those signs, buildup along the drain path is the explanation, and citric acid is the fix. The most common pushback is whether citric acid is safe for the dishwasher's internal components, particularly rubber gaskets and metal parts, and food-grade citric acid used occasionally is considered safe enough that it's the primary ingredient in name-brand cleaning products designed specifically for this purpose. It's mild compared to the chlorine-based cleaners that can degrade rubber seals over repeated use, which makes it one of the gentler options available for a job that still needs real cleaning strength. The second common question is how this differs from plain white vinegar, since vinegar shows up constantly in appliance cleaning advice. Vinegar works well for light, routine maintenance and everyday mineral buildup, but citric acid is measurably stronger against heavier limescale and grease, which makes it the better choice specifically for a dishwasher that's already showing drainage problems rather than one being cleaned on a normal preventive schedule. Some households keep both on hand, using vinegar for a quick monthly rinse, and reaching for citric acid only when a problem has actually developed. The third question worth answering is how often this needs repeating. Once existing buildup clears, a citric acid cycle roughly once a month prevents it from accumulating back to the point of restricting drainage again, which puts the ongoing cost of avoiding this problem at close to nothing, especially set against a single technician visit that costs more than a decade of monthly treatments combined. None of this required a hidden formula or a part nobody could get access to. It required knowing that a dishwasher with a clogged filter and a dishwasher with a genuinely broken pump look completely identical from the outside. And only one of them justifies the cost of a technician. The information was sitting in a support article the entire time, Filed under a heading most people never had a reason to click until the water was already standing in the tub, right next to the same troubleshooting steps a technician would eventually walk through anyway, just before writing up an invoice for having done it. If this saved a $350 service call, the brand of dishwasher and how long the water sat before it got sorted out belong in the comments below, so the next person staring at the same puddle knows exactly where to start. Like and subscribe. And